Alright guys, so we're going to have a short tutorial today, just going over using your periodic table to figure out things like atomic number, atomic mass, protons, neutrons, electrons, and charge. This is something I want you to get really good at. So make sure you have the periodic table in front of you. You're going to have to refer to that to figure some of these things out. Alright? So being able to find everything on this table when you're given certain values or a symbol, etc. Alright? So make sure you got that in front of you. Maybe pause for a minute, take a moment to copy this table down, right? Just the way it looks so that you can kind of go along with me if that's what you choose to do. But if this is just some extra practice for you, however you want to use this, all right? So make sure you got that periodic table in front of you. Pencil, you shouldn't need a calculator. The math's pretty easy, but I'll let you guys make that decision on your own. You can always use the calculator on tests, so. Anyways, let's go through the basics here. So I've got my handy markers here. So what we have here in this table is certain values filled in for us, and I'll always make sure those values are enough to allow you to figure out the others if you have the periodic table in front of you. Okay? So it may be helpful also if you guys have your notebooks in front of you, where maybe you annotated the practice chart we did just the other day. So let's chart ahead. We've got in row 1, we've got 8 protons. Now I gravitated toward that proton column because that's what tells me which element I have in the first place, right? So protons are 8, which means my atomic number is 8. Okay, which means I can go to my periodic table, find number 8, and wouldn't you know, it's oxygen. So my symbol for element number 8 is oxygen, right? And it has an atomic number of 8. So that 8 goes in the bottom left. My mass number is given to me this time, 16. All right. So now what I need to do over here is where I have to actually do some calculations. Usually your electrons and your neutrons are numbers you have to calculate. Sometimes your mass number is. It just kind of depends. So I have a mass of 8 and 8 protons. Right? So remember, my mass is the combination of protons and neutrons. So protons plus neutrons equals my mass number. So 8 plus what equals 16? You guys, math wizards, should be able to figure that's 8 pretty fast. Bam. All right? Now, over here I have this added column for charge. That may not be on your practice table we did earlier, but we were indicated under a symbol, so it's nothing new there. I just added a column for it to be included, all right? So I have a charge of -2 on this oxygen ion, not atom, ion, because it has a charge, right? So because it has a charge of -2, that means my protons and electrons are not going to be equal, right? So if I have a negative charge, that means my electrons will have to be a higher number than my protons. If they're the same number, we're neutral. If there's more protons, it's positive. More electrons, it's negative. All right. So I have 8 protons and a charge of -2. Right. So the math you need to do, you should be able to do this in your head. But 8 minus what equals a -2? You guys should be able to get that really quickly as being 10. All right. So I have a charge of -2. I also want to indicate that on my symbol. For some reason in chemistry, they like to go 2 minus instead of -2, but that's the way we do things there. Okay. All right, so next one. I don't have my protons listed there, but I do have my atomic number, all right, which is always going to be the same as my number of protons. So I'll automatically do that. The next thing I'll do is find number 20, because I always like to know what element I'm dealing with. On the periodic table, that gives me calcium, right? So I'm going to write my symbol for calcium over here, C. Little a, and yes, it is important that that second letter is lowercase, right? It's 2 capitals, you're trying to tell me 2 different elements, 1 capital, 1 lowercase, if it's a symbol with 2 letters, all right? This particular isotope of calcium has a mass number of 41, so I'll go ahead and write that up there. My atomic number is 20, that goes there, all right? Now, this isotope of calcium has a mass of 41. 20 of that mass comes from my protons, so the remaining mass would have to come from neutrons. The mass is 41, 41 minus 20, 21 neutrons. All right? Now, this tells me that I have 18 electrons. So how do I get my charge? Protons minus electrons equals charge. That should be in your notes somewhere. Protons minus electrons equals charge. So 20 minus 18 gives me a plus 2 overall charge. So on my symbol, I need to add that over here as a 2 plus. All right. Next one down. All right, we're going to go with number 7 here with our protons. Okay, so we're going to find the one that also has the atomic number of 7. That should be, boom, we don't have to think about it. Protons, atomic number, same number. Atomic number is 7. I'll go to number 7 on my periodic table. I would find that to be nitrogen. We're going to put an N here. All right. Now this time I don't have my mass number given to me, but I do have my number of neutrons. So 7 protons and 7 neutrons give me an overall mass of 7 plus 7, 14. So your mass number is always protons and neutrons combined, that number. 7 plus 7 is 14. The atomic number is 7. All right. Now, it says I have a charge of minus 3, so I can go ahead and write 3 minus there. All right. My mass number is 14. And how many electrons do I have? All right. So again, that's where we're going to have to do a quick calculation. 7 protons minus what number gives me a negative 3? Okay. 7 minus 10. Right? Should give you a number of a negative 3. All right. And last but not least here, this time we're just given our symbol fully filled out. Right? Atomic number is 9. Mass number is 19, and I have a charge of minus 1, right? If it just says minus that, we just assume that's a 1. Otherwise, there would be a 2 or a 3 or whatever else attached to it, okay? So F minus means it's an ion with a minus 1 charge. Atomic number is 9, mass number is 19, so I'll go ahead and put that in there. 9, 19, minus 1. All right, so those numbers I've got. Now, the next steps here are to fill in my protons, neutrons, and electrons. Protons is always the easiest because it's the same as the atomic number. Okay, my mass is 19. 9 of that comes from my protons. The remaining mass would have to be neutrons, so 19 minus 9 that would give me 10 neutrons. All right, now I have this minus 1 charge here, right? Overall. So again, protons minus electrons equals charge. So 9 minus x equals a negative 1. Again, I'm going to get that number for 10 electrons for that ion. All right. Told you guys this would be a short one. Practice that. You can always make up values, all right, from your periodic table and try to go back and work that if you need to, or if you want some extra practice from me, just give me a holler. Okay, I can kind of show you how to make up values just to make sure that they're real elements and stuff. All right, you guys keep after it, and we'll be doing a quiz here pretty soon.